If somebody's joining now, hello again. We are very happy to be here with you today. I like how active you guys are already. Let's introduce ourselves, I would say. My name is Suzanne. I'm the Regional Marketing Manager for North America and the UK here at iMusician. In Berlin, actually, that's where we are located. And yeah, I'm very happy we are having this webinar about Spotify for you today. I myself, I've been working in music for a couple of years now, and I've done everything basically from like publicity, tour management, promotion, events, and yeah, everything, as I said. And now I'm here at iMusician, and I do marketing and also artist and label support. So yeah, might have answered some of your emails already. I'm not alone here today, as you might have noticed. I'm here with my fabulous colleague, Chris. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Chris Apollo Lin. I am the lead marketing and product strategist here in Berlin. I'm originally from Austin, Texas. I've been making music for about 15 years. I used to do punk when I was younger, but then went through a Chicago house phase and was on Trax Records, opened for some 90s artists. Now I live in Berlin. I produce electronic music and I make my own primitive rave music. And this year I hope to launch a record label with artists from Berlin. So yeah, super excited to share a lot of our knowledge with you all from our own background, but also from what we learn and share with our labels and artists every day.
Exactly. So just to give you a short introduction of what we are going to talk about today. So we are going to cover the following topics. We're going to start with how to claim and set up your artist profile. We're going to move over to how to build your own strategy, your release strategy for Spotify. How it works to when you want to submit your music to the Spotify playlists, what you need to do when you want to find and pitch to unofficial playlists, and also how to create your own playlists and why that helps you as an artist and your career. We actually just released an amazing guide. It's called The Ultimate Guide to Spotify. Chris just posted actually a link in the corner down there for everyone on Facebook. I think the link is in the comments. The guide basically contains everything you need to know about Spotify, and I highly recommend you checking it out. And I mean, as we all know, we're all stuck at home, and our whole team is also working from home as well. And yeah, we just wanted to do something for all the folks, you, and also a bit of us, who can't leave their houses. So yeah, here we are. And please feel very, very free to leave comments and questions in the chat, as you already do. We're going to answer them all. Cora and Jordan from our team are here to answer your questions. And we are going to answer some of them halfway through and also in the end. And let us know which topics also you want to maybe hear in the future, because we are definitely planning on making this a series. And we would be very happy to hear your feedback on what you want to hear next. So I would say we jump right into it now. Yeah, this is the Spotify guide page again, but as I said down there, why Spotify? So just so to give you an impression about the numbers and how big that company is, Spotify has 271 million active users worldwide and 113 million paid subscribers. So there is no question, Spotify just leads the music streaming business. There is nobody, like no other streaming service that size. And I suggest we have a quick look at the amounts that the different platforms pay per stream as well. There is a beautiful infographic from the website called informationisbeautiful.net. And as you can see here, there are the amounts per stream, per platform. Spotify here you can see that Spotify pays 0.0044 cents per stream at the moment. And from our customers, we've seen that 1 million streams equals around $4,000. I totally understand that that probably sounds like a lot of streams. And yes, you are probably not going to get that overnight, but with the right strategy and especially time and patience, as usual, there's a lot you can do. And yeah, especially a lot you can do to get more streams and in the end, more revenue too. So yeah, if you are not quite sure how royalties work, in our Spotify guide, chapter 2, there's a full chapter about royalties and how they work. And yeah, you'll find everything you need to know there. Being the #1 in streaming, Spotify was also the #1 that allowed us to actually, like us as artists, to create and customize our own profile. And it definitely gives you a lot of options and also insights. So yeah, we definitely want to dive into that a little more. And Chris, do you want to do that for us, please?
Sure. Thanks, Suzanne. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to set up your Spotify for Artists profile. Give me 1 second. Let me just share my screen and show you what is in Spotify for Artists. Bear with me 1 more second. Having a little bit of slowness here. There we go.
Yeah, we are all on the internet at the same time in the world.
So if you can see my screen now, this is one of my artist profiles, and this is the home tab. In the middle here, you've got a lot of articles and videos that Spotify it has created for you to really teach you a little bit about the music business and how to use Spotify. You can also see your listeners for the last 7 days, your top songs and streams for the last 7 days, top playlists for this time period, if you've got any here, and then what we can go to the music tab. Music tab, you can see the last 28 days in streams for your different tracks. You can also adjust to 24 hours, 7 days, since 2015 or all time. You can also look at your releases. They're going to be here just grouped together instead of the singles. On this page is the playlist, and we're going to get a little bit deeper into playlists and playlist strategy in a minute. So hold tight. Right now, showing you this profile, you can see you've got your algorithmic playlists up here. So these are what playlists you're on, editorial playlists if you've made them, and then listener-based playlists at the very bottom. Finally, you can check out your audience profile. On the audience tab, you can see how many listeners you have, trend data over a period of time. You can see streams over a period of time, also last 28 days since 2015, and you can also look at followers and see spikes where things jumped, what went down. You can see the sources of your streams, profile and catalog, other people's playlists in their library, algorithmic playlist, editorial playlist. You can also see gender and age of your audience. And down here, you can see other listeners that other artists that listeners would like. You can also see a map of where your music is popular, and then looking at top cities down at the bottom. And that's great for helping plan your tour when we can tour again. And then finally, we have the profile. This is exactly like a social media profile. I'll show you how to set that up in a minute, but first, Dan is going to show you how to claim your profile.
Exactly, and yeah, I am going to share my screen again. Yes, and here we are, and you can see it. Yeah, thank you, Chris, for giving us an intro to the Spotify for Artists profile. Before you can see this, obviously you need to claim your artist profile. So if you've already done this, some of you might have already done it, bear with us. We'll jump back into more stuff in a minute. This is only gonna take a little while, like a few minutes. So I would say we actually maybe just do it live. I'm gonna go to Spotify for, Spotify legal issues, Spotify for Artists. Here we are. This is the page. Let me just log out from this account. And what you will need first to actually claim your profile are just a few things. You will need your Spotify URI. I will show you in a second where you find that one. You will need your social media accounts, and you will need an email address, ideally a professional email address that kind of links you to your musical project. So what you do is you go to Spotify for Artists and you click claim your profile up here. Yes, you've already submitted music. I'll let you know in a second how that goes. And then you just have to enter your Spotify artist URL here. How do you find that one? Very easy. You just go on your Spotify app, find your artist profile. In this case, Tim Freitag, a band from Switzerland we work with. Some of you might know it, the band. Yeah, you just go on your artist profile, you click on the three dots here, go on share, and click Spotify URI. Super simple. You go back to your profile, paste it here. Your profile will pop up, you just click it. In this case, obviously, it's been already claimed for a good reason, but you basically just have to follow the steps. Just enter your social media links, etc. I really recommend you to do this because it will speed up your approval process. Spotify just really wants to make sure that you're the right person for that, to have access to that artist profile. So yeah, make it as easy as possible for them. It should take probably a couple of days and maybe weeks to hear back from them. It's real people who are actually checking those claims. So yeah, you just have to give them some time. If you haven't actually released yet, you will only be able to claim your profile once your distributor has submitted your music to Spotify. That doesn't mean that your music has to be live yet. You just can also claim your profile when your release date is in the future. That means your music is not visible on Spotify yet, but we've already delivered it there. I think that's already everything you have to know about this. Once you have claimed your profile, there are a lot of things you can adjust and do on your profile. And Chris will show us a bit more what you can do with it and how it works, because he works with a lot of musicians and artists. He knows everything about it.
Thanks, Suzanne. So Suzanne just showed you how to claim your profile. Now, once you have your profile, you'll then be able to customize it in a few different ways. When you customize it, you would customize it just like you would any kind of social media profile. I'm going to show you Post Malone. I'll show you Post Malone's profile. I don't know if any of you know him. Very first thing that you want to do is take pictures. Pictures paint 1,000 words, as they say, and on Spotify it's no different. This is the avatar photo. I'll talk about it in a minute, but let's look at his profile. Okay, so here's Post with his beautiful face tattoos right here in the banner image. So there are multiple opportunities for you to show your image on Spotify. The first one is this banner or header image, and you see this on the web app or the standalone app. It's prominently featured just like we see here with Post. Now the other most important photo here is this one, and this is the avatar profile. This is actually the default or main profile image on most of the website. So especially when someone's using their phone, using the mobile app, that will be the image that they see. So that's very important. Be sure the image that you choose in both of these really represents you and presents who you are as an artist. There's one more place where you can showcase your visual side with the image gallery here. The image gallery is a little bit different than the other two photos. This is a great place to really kind of showcase a little bit more behind the scenes. Maybe you're on tour, on the road, in the studio. You can put those photos here. You can actually upload these directly from your cell phone, and they can be kind of whatever quality you want. Looks like this one came directly from Post's cell phone. He's got a few different images here. The key thing is that this really presents who you are as an artist, kind of telling visually the story of you. So think about what photos you share there, but you do have 150 photos to choose from, opportunities to choose from there. After you get your photos set up, you'll want to input your social media data here. Very important, so that your fans and those who have recently discovered you are able to find you on the other platforms. And then next, you'll want to really think about that bio. So with the images, you present that visual photo of you. This is really where you can present the story of you. So I know a lot of people have a hard time writing bios. What I always recommend artists that I work with to tell the story of you. So think about where you were, where you're going, where you are now. Mention anybody you've collaborated with. Here we see that Post has collaborated with all kinds of people, 21 Savage, Kanye West, and kind of, if you're thinking about an upcoming release or tour or festivals, mention those here. So really, who you are now, where you're going, where you were, and if you don't have a lot of history, talk about your inspirations. Talk about what your influences are. But remember, this is a place for you to really connect with your fans. There are two other ways to connect with your fans on your profile. One of them is the playlist, and my cursor is frozen. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes, we do actually still see your screen, but I think it's actually frozen. Yeah. So maybe you want to turn it off and on again.
Let me close out Spotify and then try to get in. There we go. Is it moving again?
Yes, it's moving. It's a little slow, but it's moving.
Thank you, Suzanne, for the update. So yeah, the playlists are at the bottom of the profile in the app here. So he's got a lot of playlists he appears on, but here are his two playlists that he's created himself. I'll dive into these a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you where they are on the profile. Finally, the last place you get to connect with your fans is here in the artist pick. Now, the artist pick is a temporary kind of display window that Spotify puts there for you, where you can feature something like an upcoming release, maybe I'm sorry, not an upcoming release, but your current release, a playlist that you'd like to feature, or maybe some of your favorite tracks, even from other artists. So really use this as something that you update regularly. We'll get a little bit more into that in a minute. But there you have it. That is the key elements of the Spotify for Artists profile. Suzanne?
Yes, I'm going to take over because there are a few more things you can do. And I show you my Spotify with my own picked art.
Suzanne, I think you're frozen. Well, let's see. Let's give Suzanne a second to rejoin us. Suzanne, are you there? Well, Suzanne, I will go ahead and kind of show what you were going to show with us. let's see. So there are some other things that you can do with your Spotify profile. It's a great place to hold on, I'm going to share my screen with you all again. Let me get the right screen to share. In Spotify, you can actually share some, you can share your merch. So let me show you a couple of examples. So with Spotify, you can share your merch. Sandra, back?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you again. I was just about to dive into Sharon Van Etten's profile to show everybody how you can sell merch on your profile. But now that you're back, I'll let you do it.
Yeah, can you see me actually?
Yeah, we can see you, we
Okay,
can hear you. Everybody, just a reminder, like everybody else, we are working from home, and I think the whole world is online streaming right now. So we apologize for any technical difficulties and hope that you can understand. Yeah, Suzanne's going to show you how you can sell merch and concert tickets on your profile.
Exactly. Let me just quickly reload the window because I have like an issue sharing my screen right now. 1 second.
Okay, it looks like she's out again. I'll go ahead and show you a little bit of.
So now I can show you what I wanted to show you.
It's live. Anything can happen.
Cool. Okay, finally, I'm pretty sure you've been waiting for this now. So I wanted to show you a few more things that you can do on Spotify, and I recommend doing them because why not, right? You're trying to push your career. So yeah, checking out one of my favorite artists is she does all the things I want to show you. Sharon Van Etten. I go to her profile on Spotify and I scroll down here, and this is what I was looking for, the merch bar. So one more thing you can do actually on Spotify, and every artist can do that, is you can sell merch. So basically the only thing you have to do here is sign up with Merch Bar. Merch Bar is a partner of Spotify, and you basically just have to talk to your merch company to also sync their stock with Merch Bar, and then all your merch is also going to automatically show on Spotify. And yeah, people sell basically everything: t-shirts, vinyl, posters, anything. And yeah, it's easy as that. So it's just another way to connect with your fans, and yeah, to just also maybe make some more money off your music. It links you to Merch Bar, to the Merch Bar site, which you don't even see right now. Here we are, and it's a great feature, and you should definitely take advantage of that too.
You can sell anything, like Suzanne said, posters. Selena
Exactly.
Gomez sells jackets.
Exactly, pretty cool jackets actually. I like them. Who knows, might get one. So exactly, so a feature you should definitely check out. And there is actually one more feature I want to show you, that is the concert tab. So if you look at your artist profile, on the last tab up here is the concerts tab. I know at the moment there's probably not much going on, at least with physical gigs and everything. But also here, everything you need to do basically is sign up with other Spotify partners for events. That is at the moment Songkick, Ticketmaster, Eventbrite, or AXS, and you'll be able to access this feature and yeah, sync your Spotify profile with that. So just upload your dates there and sync it with your profile, and they're up there. And this is actually a feature I really recommend doing, because as you can see up here, I live in Berlin, so that's my location right here. You can change this personally to anything. I might travel somewhere, maybe not New York right now, but let's see in the near future, maybe there are concerts that they're happening again too. and your fans are actually gonna see your shows in their own browse section. So if I, for example, go to unbrowse here and I click on concerts, I see everything that's gonna happen close to me. In this case, I entered New York, so there are actually shows entered for May. Maybe not going to happen, but yeah, I see all those dates and I find out about some artists that I've maybe listened to that they're going to play soon. And yeah, I think it's a great feature because it's a great way also to sell more tickets for shows. So definitely don't miss out on that one. Exactly. So yeah, that was also already it for the first part of this webinar. The basics, I know more of basics about how to set up your profile, what you can do with your profile, what you should be doing with your profile. If you guys have any questions, again, I see that you have already been posting some here. We are happy to answer some of them. I know that Jordan and Cora have been trying to keep up with your guys' questions.
Exactly. So. And if you're just joining us, we just finished showing you how to set up and claim your Spotify profile. We showed you some cool things that you could do on your Spotify profile, including selling merch and concert tickets. And after this question session, we're going to be moving into something a little bit more strategic. We're going to show you how to build your release strategy to really help grow your fans and build your momentum on Spotify. And we're also going to show you how to use playlists to grow your fans and momentum, hopefully also grow your streams. Yeah, so let's open it up to some questions. Do we have any questions?
I saw one question about the merch bar tab. I don't know if that was about Spotify or in general. Like for the merch bar tab, there's actually not a tab. It's just, oh my God, everything's so slow today. There is actually just, we're going to see it in a second if it loads or not. There's actually just the section down here. So it shows right underneath the 5 top tracks. So yeah, no tab there, but it's nice because it's right at the top of your artist profile and people see it and yeah, it helps sell more stuff.
So yeah, I saw, just looking through some of these, how do I increase my streams and grow my fans on Spotify, says Jay Lagoon. Frankie also asks, what can I do to get more streams? Social media. We are about to show you that. I think what's really important is to understand the best way to to do that is through a really good strategy and also looking at different playlists. We'll show you that in just one second. We'll see if we have any more questions.
Good. So there's so many best questions coming up that I can't even see.
Brian, how do you get famous? Just keep on shooting for the stars and just do it and do it and do it. Be patient. Release a lot of music.
Yeah. I think writing and recording music and putting it out is definitely the number one step, and all this comes after. But yeah, make music, make music, keep practicing.
Exactly. I mean, the biggest thing here is, we're talking about a lot of things with Spotify. The most important thing is make that music, record that music, get it out there, distribute it, put it out into the world, pitch it to playlists, pitch it to your fans, your friends. We'll get all into that in just a minute. But yeah, the most important thing is make the music and put it out there.
Yeah. I see also there are a lot of questions about, can you please repeat how to, how to get your merch on there? We are actually going to record this video too, and we're going to send you a link to it. So if you want to rewatch it, because we only have a limited amount of time today, you can definitely rewatch the video. And again, I really highly recommend you check out the Spotify guide. Chris, the link is still down there, right? Because I can't see it right now.
Perfect. Sure. So yeah, it's still down there.
Yeah. I think I just don't see it because I had to reload my page. But yeah, check out the Spotify guide. Everything we're saying in this webinar is also covered in there in an own chapter and very detailed. So yeah, you can basically follow it step by step.
So I see a few people asking about how to get your music on Spotify. And I mean, the number one thing is to have a distributor. Of course, we're a distributor. There are other ones out there. We like our service. I think we have some really good values to that. But record it. You can submit it to us. You have to upload it with us, and then yeah, you can release it that way. Then it'll get on Spotify. It'll also be on Amazon, iTunes, Deezer,
Music.
Tidal, over 200 things around the world.
Beatport, Traxsource for all the electronic music artists out there.
Tracksource, Beatport.
Mm.
I mean, they're great.
Yeah, basically
Tidal
everything.
also, exactly.
Mm.
Fadi, at this time, there are limited amounts of video on Spotify profiles. Spotify is testing video in the app, and you might see that in some of your favorite artists. For right now, it's really limited release. Yeah, and I see more questions about playlist pitching. I think that's a good time to jump right into the next section.
Yeah, to maybe just do it, exactly. And that is the first section in our next Spotify strategy part. Let me just redo this here because obviously everything is a little out of place now after reloading everything. So thanks so much for all the questions already. It's amazing how active you guys are, and we really appreciate you really participating in this webinar. Again, in the first part, we've covered the basics about setting up the profile, and now we're going to dive into the strategy part a little deeper. You've set up your profile. You are ready to release your music. Now you have to understand the importance of the Spotify playlist. So the playlist is basically the backbone of Spotify. It's, yeah, we always call it the mixtapes of the digital music world, because it is the way how people discover your music. It is how people share your songs and share the songs they like. And therefore, it's a great tool for you to build a fan base and, yeah, to rack up your streams. And you should, yeah, in the end, also increase your revenue with more streams. So definitely a tool you should not yeah, miss out on, for sure. There are 3 types of playlists. The first type is the user-created playlist. User-created playlists are playlists that anyone can make. I have a few guilty pleasure playlists and whatever, my favorite 80 songs, blah, blah, blah. There are not me, but there are actually some popular influencers out there too, private people who have many followers on their playlist.
Thousands.
So, yeah, thousands. So those are also always worth checking out. We're going to get to that a little later and how to find those people. Yeah, that is the #1 playlist. Very basic. The second playlist is the Spotify algorithm generated playlist. Those are, as you can see here, Release Radar, Discover Weekly. Those playlists are generated by the algorithm, not actually a person. They're really good and very spot on. I listen to my Discover Weekly every week, and I'm surprised how well Spotify knows me. But yeah, there you go, right? Welcome to the 21st century. There's nothing you can do about those. You can only make sure your music is up on time. Yeah, you pitch to the Spotify editors. We're going to get to that in a bit. And yeah, let the algorithm do the job, basically. The third kind of playlist is the Spotify editorial playlist. So those are the ones that are actually created by real humans. And those are the ones you want to get onto, or try to get onto, for sure. So I would say let's look at an example of what those are. So if you go on Browse up here, and genre and moods is already clicked, you see all those tiles here that you've probably seen a million times. There are 3 different categories that those basically cover. There are genre playlists, like here, indie or electronic and dance. There are context-focused playlists, like For example, let me know here, like, yeah, workout, or what else do I see? Chill, yeah, chill. I would consider that a context to sleep. And then there are mood playlists too. They are like, you know, I don't know. For example, what do we see here? Mood, I don't know. German playlist, happy hits, or I don't know. Yeah, there's also like the odd, I don't know, feeling lonely playlist, and I do like to listen to those too, especially when I feel lonely.
Boost
I
playlist.
feel more lonely, especially now. But
Life
yeah,
Sucks playlist down there also.
exactly. Self-indulge in your loneliness sometimes doesn't hurt. I'm a Pisces, by the way. Shout out to all the Pisces out there. But anyhow, there is a vast amount of playlists available. You should take some time and actually think about the ways that best fit your music, and figure out which of those categories actually cover your music best, because you will need that later when you want to pitch to the editor. So yeah, what like kind of context, mood, or genre would you consider yourself to be in? The official playlists, and you can usually tell by the little Spotify symbol up there, not a guarantee, but here you see created by Spotify. These playlists are followed by sometimes millions of users. Here, like it's over 100, like, yeah, it's almost 150,000 users that and followers that actually listen to that playlist regularly. And so getting on one of those is really gonna increase your listeners and streams. So how do you get on those, and how do you submit and pitch to the editors? Chris is gonna show us how and walk us through the process.
Thank you, Suzanne. So yeah, Suzanne just kind of walked you through the process for, or sorry, Suzanne just walked you through the types of playlists that are available. And now I'm going to show you how to submit your music to the Spotify editors. So remember that tab that I showed you on the artist profile, where you, on the music tab, has releases upcoming, and you click on that tab, and if you've got releases that you've already sent to your distributor, and your distributor's already uploaded them to Spotify, then you will be able to submit that. It will say pitch to editors. Now here's what you see when you get through that. So walking through all of this, the first step is, what is the song's main genre? And Spotify has tons of genres, and when you click on that, then it opens up, you choose your genre, explore through those genres. Why? Because each one of those genres opens up a different subgenre. And the subgenres might be closer to your sound. So in this case, the song's main genre is punk, and then the three subgenres are emo, indie punk, and pop punk. Yeah, and then the next question to choose from is music cultures. Choose up to 2 music cultures. Now these are things like African, Arabic, Asian, Buddhist, Caribbean, South Asian, Sikh. I know a lot of people want to kind of be silly or ironic, and they might choose one of these. For example, maybe you make ambient music and you want it to be Buddhist. Well, if it's not Buddhist, or if it's not African, if it's not indigenous or Islamic, don't put those down. You know why? Because this is your chance to submit your music to your Spotify editors. If it doesn't fit what their sound is, they're just gonna kind of reject it. And so you really want this to be an accurate description of your music and your sound and your culture. So if it doesn't fit, go ahead and put none of these right here. Then you can choose up to 2 moods. Now remember, Suzanne was showing you those different mood playlists. This is important, because if your track gets to the right editor, they each curate music based on a mood or genre or context, like Suzanne was saying. Choose the mood that fits you. So if your song is upbeat, choose energetic. If it's happy, choose happy. If it's sad and romantic, like this song, choose sad and romantic. These really help route that track to the right editor. The next thing you have to choose, these are both optional, but you choose up to 2 song styles. In the case Spotify, you can choose acoustic, ballad, beats, Christmas, experimental, holiday, kids, traditional. Again, don't mess around, don't play around with these. Only choose the one that fits you. So if you make acoustic music or ballads, you're a singer-songwriter, do that. Beats, make those lo-fi beats, click beat here. You know, Christmas song, all of that, click those. If it doesn't fit in those song styles, don't choose it. Don't waste your chance with the editors. Just click on none of these. The next thing that you have to fill out here is the language. So yeah, most languages are on here. If your lyrics are in English, type English. If the lyrics are in English and Spanish, choose both of those. You can choose up to 3 languages. So just be sure to choose the languages that your lyrics are in. If you don't have any lyrics, don't choose anything. It's okay. Now this next section is required. So Spotify wants to know, is it a cover song? So that means, are you performing someone else's song? Is it a remix? That is, of course, obviously you've taken someone else's song and you have remade it. Don't do that without the permission of the original songwriter, of course, because it won't get accepted. We can't even upload it if the remix, if you don't have permission for the remix. Now, is it an instrumental? Yes, no. And how was it recorded, in the studio or live? And then we've got another section here. It's also, this part's optional. Choose the instruments that are in this song. You can see here there are quite a few different types of instruments, from traditional percussion and drones to also contemporary instruments like the drum kit, bass guitar, and electric guitar, which are traditional in an emo punk song, which is why they're chosen here. And you don't have to choose anything, but again, this helps it get to the right editor. Finally, this is your last chance to really make that impression with the editors. So they ask 2 questions here. The first one is, what city do you most identify with? Now this band is from North Rhine-Westphalia in Germany, and so that is why that's there. But you know, you can put your hometown, you can put the city you started making music in, or even the city that you feel the strongest musical connection with. I used to make a lot of Chicago house music under another artist name, and for that I would put Chicago here. Same if you're making music that is maybe a sort of surfer vibe, then you can put LA. Maybe you have West Coast hip hop vibes, you can put LA there. If you're from country music, you can put Nashville or Austin. Whatever you like, if it identifies has the strongest connection with you as an artist. And finally, this last section here really allows you to write something a little bit more personal to the editors. In this case, I would tell the story of the song. So what was it about? What was the idea for? What was the influence of it? You know, and a lot of people, a lot of musicians I work with, they're not writers. They don't consider themselves writers. So what I tell them is, you know, pretend like you're telling your best friend why they should listen to it. Tell them the story of the song. You don't have to really be a good writer. You just have to talk about the music that you love making. So don't worry about having proper grammar. Don't worry about writing it like it's a paper for college. Just write what you're feeling about the song. And yeah, it's your chance to really stand out and talk to them. Finally, once you click that next button, you'll get a review of what you've entered. It's all here. And then when you click submit, you get this confirmation message. So now Suzanne is going to tell you a little bit more about when to submit your music.
Exactly, very important part. We also had a question about if you can submit a song that's already been released. No, unfortunately not, unless you do a re-release. artists have done it in the past. So yeah, maybe there's a workaround around that, but if it's
There,
already
actually, there is one thing that you can do. It's kind of a trick. It's kind of not. So, how many of you know the Beatles? They were a British pop band from the 60s and 70s.
nobody is allowed to say no.
You can't say no. You have to
Everyone
know.
knows. Sorry.
Well, so the way to kind of get around it is if it's a new addition. So, if you look in Spotify at Beatles tracks, it will say something like 2015 edition or 2015 remastered edition. So the thing is, it has to be a totally new edition or edit of the song for you to be able to submit it. That doesn't mean if you released the song last month and you want to submit it next month, hoping that it will get into again. Don't do that. If it hasn't been approved once, if it didn't get accepted once, move on to the next track.
Yeah.
Keep putting those tracks out. Have patience, and just make music and put it out. Don't hold on to one song being the song that breaks you. Think about it like when you do get that big break, people will find those old songs and then that'll come up. I don't know how many of you know who Lizzo is. She's one of my favorite pop singers in the US right now. She had a song that was out for 2 years, and last year, one of her songs got popular. It got in the playlists, and then an older song of hers suddenly got popular, made the Billboard charts, got into Spotify playlists. It was already, I think, a year and a half or 2 years old. And that can be the same thing that happens to you. So don't worry about one song breaking you. Just keep making music, keep putting it out there, and have patience.
Yeah, and the Spotify algorithm also picks up songs that have been released a while ago. Like if you check out your Discovery Weekly, there's going to be songs from 5 years ago. There's going to be songs from the early 2000s. I once had like bands from the 80s on there. Like it's, yeah, the algorithm also might still help you. So yeah, be patient, have time, write more songs, release more, use all the chances you have. Exactly. So very important for us, of course, and for you because you want to pitch is when to, yeah, when to really like when to submit your music. So Spotify requires you to submit your music to the editors at least 7 days before. We do recommend actually 2 weeks. Like 7 is really like very tight. It can take, and that's what you have to actually bear in mind. It can take a couple of days to a week, worst case, to get your release on Spotify. So to be able to pitch in time, we recommend you actually to have your release uploaded 2 to 3 weeks before the release date. If you upload it 15 days before, that is like the bare minimum. Like you can't go any later than that. And if you are actually quite tight on your timeline and you can't upload it any earlier than that, just drop us a note. And we're going to make sure everything's uploaded on time. So not an issue. But yeah, we recommend 3 to 4 weeks because then you can pitch 2 weeks in advance. And that is definitely going to help. And yeah, you might have better chances to get playlisted. So that was that. There are a few more things to consider when it comes to successfully releasing your music, though. And Chris is our content pro. He's actually going to give us some details on different strategies that artists have been using in the last couple of years, and yeah, how things might have changed recently. Yeah, Chris, you want to take over here?
Yes, thanks, Suzanne. So we just showed you how to submit your music and told you when to submit your music. So now we're going to tell you how to plan your release strategy to really maximize those chances to submit to the Spotify editors. Now, there are a couple things to bear in mind. Number one, you can only submit one track per release. And you're only allowed to submit a track to the editors once the track that you previously submitted is released. So you can't have two submissions at one time. Another thing to keep in mind is that print media, these are the newspapers, the magazines, the people who are still not on a digital time frame, they require 2 to 3 months lead time. That means you need to send them an album or an EP 2 to 3 months before it comes out. But that's great because this is a chance for you to build momentum for that release before it actually comes out. So let's take a look here at our release strategy. So this is a strategy that our artist and label managers use every day with our customers. And it's also what you see Taylor Swift using. Kanye West is using this. I'm sure Post Malone is using this. It is the new way to release music. In the past, people would release a single and then instantly an album. People don't do that anymore. You have so many people releasing music, so many things wanting attention, that now you have to really stay top of mind with your listeners and build that momentum and get those playlists simply by releasing at least one single a month. So here's what you're doing, for example, if you release an EP. So you send the EP to print publications on month 1. And remember, that's coming out in 3 months. That article will come out in 3 months. Um, in the meantime, release that first single on month 1, submit that single to the Spotify editors, and at the same time, do some PR, do some press and public relations, and pitch that single to the unofficial playlists and to the blogs. We're gonna get more into unofficial playlists in a minute, but just trust me on this. This strategy works. Month 2, you release the second single. Again, you submit that second single to Spotify editors, and as well as pitch second single to the unofficial playlists and blogs. And finally, month 3 rolls around. Hopefully, you got that feature in Rolling Stone or the review in Mixmag, and you crossing fingers. And at the same time, you release the full EP on Spotify. You submit a third track from that EP to the Spotify editors, and then you pitch the EP to unofficial playlists and blogs. It works the same if you're building up to an album. Release a couple of singles and then an EP, maybe another couple of singles, then an EP, and use the album or the EP kind of like a compilation of all of the singles that you've released. If you're not ready to release an album or an EP yet, just try to release a single a month. Challenge yourself. Say, I will release a single a month for the next 6 months, the next year, and I guarantee if you follow this strategy, you release, you pitch those Spotify editors, you pitch the unofficial playlist, you pitch blogs, you will gain momentum. You will build fans, and with that comes more streams. And more playlists that you're featured on, the more chances you have with the Spotify algorithm, and the more chances you have with the Spotify editors. So really, just release regularly, make the music and put it out there. That's my biggest advice. We've got this in more detail in our Spotify guide. It's down in the bottom right-hand corner. Just click on the link and you can get more information from there. So that is release strategy. Now, Susanna's going to talk to you a little bit more about those unofficial playlists and blogs.
Exactly. I'm going to take over my screen because we're talking about it, actually, because we see our artists also use those strategies all the time, actually. The exact one that Chris just explained. Best example is actually Tim Freitag. They just released an album, and before that, building up, they released many singles. They were already pretty successful, but they actually made it into the Swiss charts with their iTunes charts with their album. So it's good to build some momentum, give people something to get excited about, and use every chance you can. Just on a side note. But yeah, we have looked at the playlists already plenty of times now, me and Chris. The official editorial playlists we've covered. There are more opportunities to get your songs considered though, and that is with unofficial playlists. As we've already said, with each release, you have the chance to submit one track to the official ones, but you also have the chance to submit however many you want to the unofficial playlists, of course. This can be very, very important for your visibility, especially with the algorithm. The more playlists you're featured on, the more likely you are going to be considered for official playlists as well. And the more likely you'll be shared via the algorithmic playlists too. So many independent curators have playlists with thousands of listeners. Getting on one of those, or maybe some of those, can be as much of a success as getting on an official playlist. Yeah. So, how do you find those playlists? It includes some research and some work, but it will pay off, I promise. Situation one. If you have already released before and you have actually been playlisted, I would also recommend starting with that first. So, for example, you go to your Spotify for Artists profile, logging in. You go to music and playlists. Chris has already showed that. Here you see all your playlists. If you can see any unofficial playlists on there, it totally does not hurt to get in touch with those editors again. They've playlisted you before. They like your sound clearly. So yeah, just give them a note and send them a little note that you have something new coming, and yeah, they might playlist it again. So that's easy as that. Step one. Situation two, if you haven't been playlisted, actually, there might be still related artists or other bands, that have a similar sound as you and that were actually playlisted. So how do you do that? If you are, for example, an alternative rock band, and one of your favorite bands, some of you might know them, is Cold Reading from Switzerland. Let's find them here. Oops. Here they are. They make a similar sound as you, and you want to get where they are. You just you go to their profile first. You click on About, and then here you see Discovered On, and you see the 5 top playlists for that band. And for example, Indie 505, yeah, indie rock, your sound would probably be a good match for that too. Check out the bands here. Yeah, might be a good fit. And then you see up here that there's actually even contact information in the description. And that is actually something a lot of unofficial playlists do. They want people to submit. They want new stuff. So yeah, check out the descriptions here. You basically find everything you need there. If you have friends making similar music, also check out their contacts, that they already might have a collection of email addresses that might be a good fit. And to other platforms that we actually recommend trying and giving a chance are Submit Hub and SoundPlate, especially if you've never released before and you've never really pitched to any playlists. That's like those two websites are actually a really easy opportunity to upload your stuff, add some information, and pitch to blogs and playlists directly. So definitely check it out. And also, of course, iMusician, we have our own playlists. I want to mention that at this point. And I know that somebody was asking before if there are any punk playlists to share. We actually do have a whole bunch of punk playlists, funny enough, but we just have a lot of punk fans here. Pop punk, new punk, some power pop, kind of more garagey, surfy punk songs on there as well. So yeah, maybe you can find something there to share. Just a recommendation on this side. So
Suzanne, what if I make sad pop love music.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going to get to that in a second because I also like. I know I do like the cheesy. I do like the cheesy examples. I think Chris just loves that about me. But yeah, how do you collect actually all the data though? And how to pitch to those unofficial playlists. So first of all, I recommend you to actually get a bit organized. I know not all musicians like the Excel sheet, but I think having actually a spreadsheet makes sense because you are going to collect all the playlists you like. You might want to make notes, what other artists and songs have been featured. You need the contact details, maybe at a date. Have I already been in touch with that person? And yeah, there you have your personal influencer database. And as I already said, many curators have their email addresses, social media accounts, blog addresses, etc., on their playlist. One example, for example, you are a pop band, you make pop songs or a singer-songwriter songs. You wrote a romantic but sad love song. Maybe just Google sad pop music, which I actually did before. Again, I apologize for all the.
Suzanne actually has a whole bunch of sad pop music songs. It's okay. I'm
not
not.
going to show you my private playlist though. So you just click on this. You get all sorts of sad pop music playlists. So there you go. And if you just click on one of them, this as a good example, you just check out who's on there. If it's a good fit and you think it's great, again, here, submit to the playlist wants you to submit. So yeah, take every chance you can. And yeah, of course, like follow their playlists, see what else they're playing, check out and put some time into some research about what are they actually adding. Are they adding new music? Are they adding like rather chart-topping tracks, or is it very niche and underground? It does not make sense to pitch your deep house track to an old school hip-hop playlist editor. It's not going to be.
You have some sort of crazy switch up in the middle where it gets into sort of like hip-hop.
Yeah, I mean, everything's possible out there. Exactly. Maybe you are a niche musician. Well, there you go. It's probably all there. What we recommend is you just, yeah, follow their playlists, see what they're playing, what songs they're playing, and then you just get in touch with them by maybe telling them what you liked about their selection. Keep it easy, keep it nice, and once you have a conversation flowing, tell them about your project and why you think your music might be a good fit. So also plan some time for this. Because the most important rule here is be patient and don't be pushy. Being pushy is the most unattractive characteristic anyone can have, so don't do it. Give it time, and then your work is going to pay off in the end. It might take a few pitches before it works out, and you should totally not take it personally. I know it's hard, but it's not necessarily because your music sucks. It's just because maybe it wasn't a good fit, or maybe they're trying to, try something different right now, or maybe, we're just looking for something else. So don't take it personal. It's not. There's just a lot out there. So yeah, and keep trying. Keep trying. I think that's also the biggest learning here. Yeah. So there you go. Those are unofficial playlists. We are very, very happy to take submissions as well. For all our playlists, we cover a whole lot of genres, not just punk, obviously. We have a singer-songwriter, we have jazz, we have neoclassic, anything.
Hip-hop, Afrobeat.
Yeah. So everyone who's on this seminar, we're definitely going to send you the link for the submission form. Maybe our team on Facebook is also going to share it there. So you guys can submit your tracks just too. Doesn't mean that they have to be distributed by us. We also like to add just things we like. So yeah, give it a try. Yeah, I think that was it about the playlist. There is one more playlist we want to talk about, and that is your own playlist. And Chris is going to tell us why that playlist or those playlists are actually that important.
Exactly. So thank you, Suzanne. Suzanne just shared the way that you submit to unofficial playlists. We've been talking about submitting to the official Spotify playlists. Right now, we're going to tell you how to build your own playlist. Now, a lot of people might say, why do I need to build my own playlist? Well, let me show you a couple of examples. Going back to our buddy Post Malone here, the thing to think about with playlists, building your own playlist does a couple things. The first thing it does is it creates a musical connection between you and your fans, or you and the people who discover you. And if they're here to hear your music, they're gonna love the music that you share. Music is a way that we come together and connect as people. Even though we might be self-isolating, you can still connect with people through music. And a playlist is great for that. Let me show you a few examples. I'll start with Post Malone, and then I'll get into some other musicians. So let's go back down to Post's playlists. There are a couple ways that you can create your own playlist. A couple of things to focus on. A lot of artists ask me, "What do I do? How can I create my own playlist? Where do I start?" There are a couple things. Post Malone's doing two things here. The first thing that he's doing in this one, it's Post Malone Complete. This is his complete catalog, his full discography. So what he's done here, is he has created a playlist of all of his music, all of his collaborations, all of his remixes. You can see them all here. And what this does is, number one, if there's a new person who finds your music, they might have found you through the Spotify algorithm, or maybe they found you on a different playlist, and then they come to your profile. They've seen those beautiful pictures that you put out, and then they see these playlists. And this allows them to decide, hey, is this someone that I like? And with Post Malone Complete Playlist, what he's doing here is introducing you to all of his music in one playlist. Or maybe you have super fans who just want to listen to you. They can come to this playlist, hit play, done. They also will see new music that you have each time it comes out and automatically have it on that playlist for them. Post does another thing that I really recommend. It's called Posty's Playlist. And what is here is, like he says, a short list of my favorite songs right now. This is one of the top ways you can connect with your fans and potential fans. So this is exactly what he says. All the music he's listening to right now, he's put in his own new stuff that he's with people from which he's collaborated, people on his label, people that he tours with, whatever he's listening to right now. You can do the same. Just make a list of what you're listening to right now, some of your favorite tracks, some of your favorite artists. It's a great way to connect. Look at this. He's got 439,000 followers to this playlist. 439,000 people want to know what Post is listening to right now. It's no different with you. If they like your music, they probably share the same musical taste as you. So make this playlist. Maybe you are, again, we're talking about indie music, but maybe you make experimental free jazz from Philadelphia. Make a playlist for that. Make a playlist for that genre. And maybe then you will become so big with that playlist that people will want to pitch you to be on your playlist. And yeah, become an influencer in your genre. Let me show you a couple other people. Speaking of influencers, one of my favorite house DJs and producer is Cynthia. She's here in Berlin, but she has Chicago and London style house music. She has a playlist that she updates every week. Let me get down there. She's got a lot of releases. She also has a few record labels of her own. This is her playlist. Take a look. She tells you up here what it is: Berlin, house, disco, and techno. It's her secret weapons, what she's using in her set. And you can see she just updated this 3 days ago. Yeah, She's got stuff from her own labels, Best of Modus, Crystal Grooves. She's got artists that she plays with when she's on tour, people that she wants to work with, people she has worked with. And I think if you're an electronic musician or a DJ particularly, you should really think about sharing your playlist from your shows. So yeah, she's got some of her remixes. Yeah, it's a great way to connect with people. And maybe you want to collaborate with some artists, put them in this playlist. Um, if you make a playlist with people in it, tag them on social media, share it on your Instagram stories, whatever, and tag those people, and they might retweet it or reshare it, and that will also help you kind of get a nice connection with them, and they also might share it with their fans. You never know. Um, I'm going to show you one last playlist idea from DJ House. He is like a house rave producer from the UK. He also has a lot of releases. Look at this. He has a couple of record labels of his own, and I really love what he does with his playlist. So let me get down there. Here's another tip: release a lot of music. I've probably said it a few times. Um, the bigger your catalog is, the more chances you have to get plays, and the more plays you have, the more chances you have to get revenue. So here is his playlist, Unknown to the Unknown weekly playlist. What I really like about DJ House's playlist is that he has a different featured artist every week. I think it's actually, to be honest, I think he updates this every month, but it says every week here. This week he's working with Totally Enormous Extinct Dinosaurs, who is another great producer from London. And yeah, so let's take a look at this. He has made a compilation of all of these tracks. These are people on his own label. I mean, I love a lot of these artists. I actually love this playlist because I discover kind of what's hot in London right now just by looking at this. And it's the same thing with you. Showcase what's happening in your scene, the people that are similar to you, the things that you like. And because your fans like your music, they're also going to like the music that you share, and you'll get a following. Some other things that you can think about sharing. People ask me all the time, what can I share? So think about sharing your genre. Better yet, if you're in a more niche genre, think about sharing the history of that genre. So for example, Chicago house music, make a playlist with all the classic Chicago house music. Think about your inspirations. If you're recording an album right now, if you have an upcoming release or you just released something, make a playlist with your inspirations. So let's say your album is called My Top Selling Album 2020. I hope you have a better name than that. But let's say that that's the name. Make this playlist the name of the album, and then at the end put inspiration. So my best selling top album 2020 inspiration, and put all of those artists and songs and albums that influenced you into that playlist. Another thing Suzanne mentioned earlier, moods are very, very popular. People love to find a playlist that fits their mood. Make a playlist that fits your mood. Summer holidays are coming up. Make a summer vacation playlist.
Or a summer vacation playlist.
Hopefully, we will be out of self-isolation by the time summer starts. Maybe you could do a self-isolation playlist. You can do a on lock or lockdown playlist, whatever you like. Think about when we get back on tour again, when we're able to play in those festivals and play on tour again. Think about making a playlist for the tour or for the festival with the artists that you're on tour with or who will be playing the festival with you. Again, they might share it. which is great for you. Also, it builds that connection with them. Um, yeah, so that's basically it. Remember, the key to building your own playlist is being authentic, being you, and making that musical connection with your audience. Get them something that they can keep coming back to visit your profile and to build that relationship with you. Music is a great way for us to build a relationship and use the playlist to do that. Again, the more playlists you're featured on, the better chances you have for the Spotify algorithm, the better chances you have to be chosen by the editors. And maybe if you have a great playlist with a lot of followers, you will have musicians submitting music to you. And then that helps you further build those relationships with them. So that's how you use playlists to increase your fans and build your following.
Exactly. Thank you so much. I think this really helps, Chris. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I hope it helps you guys too. This was what we're going to cover in this webinar today. We are going to get to a few more questions because you guys have been asking questions like crazy. And I want to say thank you to all of you, first of all, for attending, but also for, again, all the questions. This was the very first webinar we've ever done, and we covered, like, I guess, a bunch of the basics, all of the basics, I want to say. We are trying to make this a series, and we would really like to know what you want us to to show you next, and what webinar you would like to see, because we're doing this for you guys. We want to help you, and we want to give you insights in whatever you want to know. And again, especially because I saw there were a few people who were coming in a little later, all the basics, how to claim your profile, how to get your release on Spotify. First of all, most important question, maybe if you're a band. I know that there was a question, who has access to the Spotify for Artists profile. Because you are connected with your private account. There can be different roles on one Spotify for Artists account. Again, I really recommend you check out our guide. Again, link is here, because you'll find all the answers there. It's already there. So I would say let's get to some questions. I think one question a lot of you guys have been asking was if you can, okay, let me look at it again. If you are submitting old songs to playlists, how that works. Again, if you upload an old song for the first time on Spotify, totally not an issue. If you want to actually mention in the metadata that you already recorded that song 5 years ago, but you've never released it, that's totally fine. A lot of people do that. Like big writers have tons of songs they don't release for years. And then there's the right time, they maybe met the right person to write with, and they made the actual great track out of it, and then it's ready to see the world. And so not an issue at all. If you have released a song before, you cannot pitch the same track and upload and pitch the same track, obviously. Spotify is going to tell you, well, this song has already been online. I've seen this before. Algorithm again. But again, a lot of artists are doing reissues, are doing remastered versions, are doing edits of their own songs. A lot of people have, for example, and that's been also a practice for many, many years, is like making a radio edit of your song, a shorter version that you actually pitch to radio. I know we have a bunch of people from Canada and the States as well. Like, community radio is very big, and you might have a radio version anyway. So yeah, that is fine. You can pitch a different version. The song just cannot be online already, and then you're able to pitch it. So I know that was a question a lot of people had. So first things first.
Yeah, so I saw a question come through. I'm sorry I didn't get the name down, but asking if you have to be a premium user of Spotify to do this. No, not at all. You don't have to be a premium user. With your free Spotify account, if you have released music on Spotify. So that means that you have a distributor that you uploaded your music to, and then they sent your music to Spotify. Once you have your music on Spotify, you are entitled to a Spotify for Artists profile. All you have to do is have a Spotify profile. It doesn't have to be premium. And from your Spotify, you go to Spotify for Artists, as Suzanne showed you, and you have to log in using your Spotify account. It doesn't have to be premium. It can be anyone. You just have had to have released music. You have to showcase, or you have to share with them your social media profile so that they can verify it's you, or you send your email address. I mean,
Exactly.
you also have to give your email address. You don't have to have a premium Spotify profile, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's worth to mention all of this again. It's really easy, and the steps are in our guide, so you can just like have it open on the side and do it live while
So,
you do it. That's
what was that?
that's how I do it too. I watch tutorials while
So, we're getting some people saying that you can't pitch to the unofficial playlists. Um, Actually, when you pitch a song to an editor, there's no chance to pitch to an unofficial playlist. So that's actually not true. So you can pitch your song to any unofficial playlist. It's not exclusive. So you pitch your playlist to the Spotify editors. Um, you then can pitch your playlist to unofficial editors as well. There's not an exclusivity agreement with Spotify. So I would recommend that you plan ahead. You can send the unofficial curators your track before it comes out, or you can send it to them after it comes out. It's best to send it once it's already come out so that you can send them the link to the track on Spotify. And then it can be in an unofficial playlist. That's a lot of sounds to put together. But yeah, it's totally, you can totally do it. It's
There's
not
not a form, because we just had the question. There's not a form. It's not an official Spotify form
exactly,
to fill in. You have to do your own PR basically. Send it to
exactly.
people who might be interested. Email is a great tool. People are actually waiting for your releases.
Yeah, exactly. And Suzanne showed you there are unofficial playlists where they put their email address in the description of the playlist. They want you to send an email to them and they want to hear new music. So use that. You can also use SoundPlate, which is
And SubmitHub, sorry. SubmitHub and SoundPlate, basically.
SubmitHub and SoundPlate, and you can search by genre and find different playlist editors. I do recommend if someone wants you to, they promise you that they can get you 50,000 streams for a certain amount of money, that's a fake. That's a fraud. And if you do fake streams, you'll get kicked off of Spotify. They can lock you out. They can take away and withhold whatever money you have and from revenue. And in some places, it's actually considered fraud, and they will notify the police to come arrest you. So if somebody talks to you about boosting streams for pay, don't do it. You will get caught. We've seen some of our own clients who've tried this only to get busted. They know, Spotify can tell.
Exactly. Spotify is very clever that way. And it's a computer. It recognizes if there's, for example, a computer on the other side trying to fake listen to tracks and stuff like that. It's not possible, and it's not going to be in the near future to do this, and don't try for sure.
So looking at more questions,
I think a lot of you were also, I know Felix was asking about PR as an indie artist and if you should actually hire someone. I think it depends on where you are in your career. If you are starting out, I recommend maybe saving the money if you don't have a reputation yet and the contacts. It's not easy to find a good PR company to do PR for you. It will cost a bunch of money because it's hard work and they are going to charge for their good services. So don't just throw money away. and just try what we discussed here by yourself, and try to pitch your song to playlists, get in touch with magazines. Yeah, it's not going to happen overnight, but also those PR companies, that's how they build their contacts too. So, and then you maybe get to a point where you are, I don't know, your sound is a little more advanced, and you found a good PR company to work with. But here, I really recommend go with the best, or don't, yeah, just do your best to try to get things done on your own.
Yeah, Suzanne and I have both done PR, and I think, listen, it's hard for us as artists. It feels sometimes like, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about myself. Like we all feel that way, right? You love your music, talk about it. And PR is really nothing but talking about your music. So really look for those unofficial playlists, but also go look for blogs in your category. There's Hype Machine, which is a great way to find blogs that talk about your genre. Do some searches online for some artists that have similar sound and look for reviews of their music. You'll often be able to find, if not at the bottom of the review, you can find in the About section or the Contact Us. They'll have the email addresses or a contact form for you to submit your music. You can also look on Twitter. So search on Twitter for reporter or editor, or even your favorite blog. So for me as an electronic musician, I follow all of the Mixmag editors and writers because I like to know what they're talking about. And also a lot of times they'll give you tips. And what you'll find in the end is that if you pitch your own music to these editors and these playlists and these blogs and these magazines, you will build that personal connection with them in a way that you won't be able to when you have a PR company. It is a lot of hard work, but sometimes maybe set your goals to say, okay, I'm going to find 3 new reporters to contact tonight, or okay, I'm going to spend the next 30 minutes sending an email to as many people on my list as I can. Make those little goals for yourself. Don't try to email 100 people in one night. Do it in bite-sized pieces. And if you planned ahead 3 months ahead, then that will give you some time to work on that. That's my piece of advice on PR.
There's probably more to add. Again, and I know I have stressed this a couple of times today already. Check out our Spotify guide. It's 8 chapters full of knowledge. It's, I think, 12,000 words or something. It's a gigantic piece of knowledge. It contains probably most of your, like, the answers to most of your questions. And yeah, we are also happy to answer more of your questions, obviously, if you want to get in touch with our team. Is there any other question, Chris, you want to answer? I know there's tons more. You're probably not going to be able to cover them all.
Let's see. So Mikael, I think that's how you pronounce your name, asks, is it important to talk about the promo plans you have for the song on the pitch, or is it more relevant to talk about the story of the song? This is a great question. So I work with a lot of artists. I think it's a limited amount of space. If you have a big budget or you are doing a big marketing campaign, that might be a nice thing to mention. I would say if you have shot a music video or you're going to have a music video, put that in there. I just had an avant-garde electronic artist we submitted some music for, and part of it was telling the story of the song and the mood of the song. And then the other half of that, that fill in the blank section was about the release. So it is going to be played on radio. It does have some videos coming up with it, and there are some really interesting social media campaigns that are coming along with it. So we just mentioned a little bit of that in there. I think go with your instinct. If you feel like you have a better chance telling the story of the song, tell the story of the song, especially if you don't have the budget for a big promotional or marketing campaign.
Exactly. Thanks so much for all your questions. I think we both really appreciate how active you are in this webinar. Again, let us know what you want to see on future webinars. I know we are already a bit over time, and I guess, yeah, maybe you guys want to get to work now, work on your music and upload your music. Yeah, I would really appreciate you letting us know what you want to see in the future.
I just want to say something. Felix just said, please, the auto split soon. Felix, I promise you, it's coming. Stay tuned. It's coming really soon. I promise. We're working on it really hard.
Mentioning it, Felix. My favorite topic too. Yeah, I promise you first.
Yeah, and we, like Suzanne said, this is the first of many webinars, yeah, we are going to do some more advanced ones coming up about Spotify for labels. We're going to talk in some other things about building your audience using ads and Facebook. We've got a whole bunch of things that we have coming down the pike, so stay tuned. We really appreciate all of you for coming, and yeah, we'll send this soon.
If you have not signed up with us yet, but you want to know anything about us, obviously feel free to get in touch with our team at support@imusiciandigital.com. We're happy to answer your questions there too, if there are any. And yeah, keep posting on our Facebook live stream as well if there are more questions. And yeah, we're going to consider maybe having another webinar sooner than later.
And this is recorded, and you'll get that link. We'll share that with you in the next couple of days. So again, stay tuned, and thank you so much for all of your enthusiasm and your questions. I love watching the chat. Hope it really helped.
And it's great to see that, yeah, we are all over the world, and we just connected over an hour and a half. And yeah, we hope we see you soon, guys, on the next webinar.
Ciao.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, guys.